as I promised, I'm going to do more videos. Here's another one. You're going to get bored, aren't you? You're going to get bored of my videos and my flip chart. So, somebody asked me the other day about what to do when you've maybe got a dog that's not comfortable on the lead, is struggling when other dogs are around them on the lead, and another dog bounds over and the owner's either A, frantically calling them back to no avail, or B, possibly my pet hate. It's fine, they're friendly, don't worry. And you're struggling to look after your dog on the end of their lead, and you are like either giving them treats, trying to get out of the situation, whatever it might be. But in that situation, it is not appropriate for that dog to come over. It's a pet hate of mine. I work with a large number of very aggressive dogs, and we are constantly trying to train them. Look at my defensive body language. Ooh. I'm constantly trying to train them, and then it's the people, like, if your dog's off the lead and for whatever reason your recall fails, okay, I can let that fly a little bit. It's the people who say, it's okay, my dog's friendly, and you've got, you know, nervous dog signs on, like no dog leads, everything, and you've done everything you possibly can, but the other person has no control. It is a really difficult situation to be in if you're working hard with your aggressive dog or leash reactive dog, whatever it is. For whatever reason, your dog is old, your dog is in pain, your dog's just had an operation, your dog is just having one of a really bad day, just got out of their bed the wrong side, whatever it might be that day, and you just think, would you just get your dog away from me? So there's two parts to this video. I'm going to show you what you should do if you're the person with the reactive dog on a lead, what you should do. I'm going to go outside and do that with Millie. I'll show you the little, it's called an emergency U-turn. I'm going to show you how to do it. I think it's something that you should train your dogs. Anyone, anytime. It's a bit like muzzle training. You should just train your dog to do it, and then it gets you out of a pickle a lot of the time. However, I'm also going to have a quick chat about being the other person, being a responsible dog owner. The person with the dog off the lead running about. It's really important that if your dog doesn't have a solid recall, they're on a long line, you're training them, you speak to a trainer like myself or another like positive reinforcement based trainer about recall training. That is key. Like if you cannot get your dog to come off another dog, or if they're running towards another dog and you can't call them away, they need to be on a long line. Not a retractable lead, a full on 10-meter training line. I can show you one when I'm outside. Secondly, you need to teach them that not every dog is there to play with. Now, socialisation in this country, probably in quite a lot of countries, not just the UK, we're not the only ones, it's got a bit skewed. Socialisation has just become puppy playtime, uncontrolled, lots of puppies in a room, all playing together, constantly, no consequences. The dogs that are a little bit more bullyish and a little bit more over the top and a bit more exuberant get reinforced highly for doing that and get lots of positive reinforcement from that, and the ones that are timid and a bit scared and not that keen on the other dogs get a lot of negative associations with other dogs. That is not what socialisation is. I'm going to do another video on socialisation because it's a real bugbear of mine. Puppy socialisation is not a free-for-all play session. That is not what socialisation is. It is controlled play sessions between dogs. So what happens is, at the moment, is you take your puppies, you're responsible, you try to be responsible, you take them to a puppy play party, they have a free-for-all play session, and then when you're on your walks, that's what they think is a normal behaviour. They think that running off and playing with every dog out there is an appropriate response. It isn't. I'm sorry, but it just isn't. Not every dog wants to be played with, not every dog wants to have dogs run up to them. Some dogs are old or infirm, whatever it might be, or they're just aggressive, or they're just having a bad day, whatever. So when you're teaching your dog at any age, you need to use the rule of 1 in 3. So you teach them to ignore about a third of dogs that are out there on their walks. You teach them to say hi quickly for about 2 to 3 seconds and then move on. And you teach them to go and play. So if you meet another puppy and they're appropriately matched, then they can go and have a play session. And at the end of your walk, you should have had about a third of all the dogs you've met fit into one of these 3 categories. With the ignore, I stick some treats on the end of my dog and I just say, walk on. And that just means you can't say hi to that dog. And I don't do it with just dogs that I think have got like wearing a muzzle or are old, whatever. I do it with puppies, I do it with friendly dogs, unfriendly dogs, whatever. I teach my dog to ignore any dog that we come across. Not every dog, but about 1 in 3. Stick some treats on the end of the nose, move them past, highly reward, and I have a cue, walk on. I do the same with say hello. Say hello is, as I'm approaching the other dog and I think that it's going to be okay, I'll say hi. And then after a quick sniff, either on the nose, on the bum, the dog, not me, I'm not sniffing bums, then I stick some treats on the end of the nose and I move them on. Say hello, good girl, come on then, let's go. And that's it, easy. And then the go play is, you sit, you give me eye contact, go play. Okay, and that way you're teaching your dog that not every dog can be played with. Some dogs we just haven't got time. We just haven't got time to play. That's quite a common one as well. And some dogs you can go and play with, but only when I say. That stops this charging across a field, a free-for-all play session. So that, I hope that makes sense. Hopefully nearly every dog should be able to do at least 2 of these, if not ignoring, if the ignoring one's hard. But just make sure that you highly reinforce it. You know, if I was to walk past a really good friend of mine and not be able to say hi, that's going to be quite challenging for me. And so I would need some kind of reinforcement, like a big bit of chocolate cake on the other side. Eyes down, keep going, that kind of thing. So you've got to make it worth your dog's while for doing these behaviours. Right, I'm going to go outside now with Millie and teach and show you how to do the emergency U-turn. Hopefully it'll be fairly straightforward. It's quite a simple one. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, so this is for when your dog's on a lead and you just need to get them out of a situation. I always train this when my dog is not in a situation that I need her to get out of. It's for... Ooh, it's knocking my tripod. It's for, I train it when it's a calm situation and there's no worries about, so that when I decide that I need to use it, it's not necessarily a negative thing. Okay, so it goes like this. Oops, let's go. Okay, so basically what I did then, ooh, stop knocking my tripod, is you're walking along, you see something coming, and then you go, oh, it's going this way, and then you immediately do a turn, and then you treat. Come out from under there. So you immediately treat. I'll show you again. Oh, let's go. So all you have to do with it is walk forwards like you normally do, and then at random moments you go, oh, there you go, turn immediately around, reward heavily for walking away, and then you can come back round. It just gets you out of a sticky jam, if one should appear out of nowhere, like that dog running in. Oh, go on, let's go. She was glad to go there, bless her. If you've got any questions, poke them below. Hope you like the done soundtrack that the builders are providing for us, if you can hear it. So yeah, so any questions, pop them below. I know it doesn't work in a million, doesn't work all of the time, doesn't work a million times. But what it does do is in certain situations, it gives the other owner a really clear signal, get that dog away from me. And especially good if you're not like me, when you go, can you call your dog back? A little bit more assertive. It just gives you more options. But yeah, just get them away quickly, fast. So that's basically it. You're either the owner that can make decisions because your dog is friendly and you don't have any particular problems with them, maybe a little bit over friendly and that's it, and you're going to do one of these 3 things, or you're the owner of the dog that's reactive and you're going to be doing your emergency U-turn. Never be afraid to talk to other owners. Don't be afraid to call out and say, is your dog friendly? Do you mind if mine comes and plays? Or to, on the flip side of that, to call out that your dog isn't friendly and would they mind calling their dog back. Try and do it with some manners. Some people out there aren't particularly friendly, so I always think, you know, sometimes you have to rise above. I also think that you know, you are your dog's advocate, and you do need to be responsible for their welfare. And if you know that your dog is a scared dog and a dog running into them is going to cause them problems, perhaps they'll bolt, then you really need to put as much force behind that statement as you can without being rude, obviously. But don't be afraid. My mantra for all of you out there is that you are your dog's advocate, and because of that, you need to ensure that they're always safe and that you're allowing them to express their own behaviours in a way that is appropriate for the situation. I hope that makes sense. It's not easy to do a video of the emergency U-turn, so if you've got any questions or queries, just give me a shout, pop them below, give me a call, or drop me an email, whichever you find easiest. Alright, I hope you found that useful. Thanks, bye!